Welcome to the Shaman Mix Show, exclusively here on SeeMyBeach.com. Got a very special show for you today. Actually, we have a guest that's going to really dazzle you and really open you up to seeing what is the truth. As we are aware at this time in consciousness, the vibrational frequencies exist throughout the cosmos. Everything consists of a vibration and has a vibrational frequency that it resonates with. And my guest today is Annie Williams. Welcome to the show, Annie.
Thanks, Meg.
Annie is the caretaker of the bowls, crystal bowls and the Tibetan bowls and bells.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about what we have right here, Annie.
Well, what I did today was to assemble a few bowls and bells so that we could just have an experience of what the vibrational sounds and feels like. With the Tibetan bells and bowls, you're going to get a lot of different vibrational frequencies that are like overtones and undertones. They're not just one pure sound. And what that does, it resonates with various parts of you, because you are mostly water, correct?
Right.
And because the sound will resonate through all parts of you, then you will experience the sounds in different places and in different ways.
Thank you very much so, and I'm aware of that, especially using it to, and how much it is to our advantage that we have the wonderful these are the Tibetan bowls. Now the metals that comprised of to making the Tibetan bowls is quite essential at this time and very important in consciousness, because at this time consciousness is what's happening is that the pituitary and the pineal gland are becoming into alignment. When that occurs, the DNA in our DNA structure is shifting and opening to allow us to be more of who we already are. And the metals used in the bowls are conducive to connecting the pineal gland and the pituitary gland.
That's correct. There's 7 different metals in the true Tibetan bells and bowls. So those have come down and been passed down through ancient lineages. The Tibetan monks and other artisans have put these together, and only recently have we actually discovered, I guess on the western side, that we really do resonate with them. And I've been working with one teacher that's actually from Tibet, and he's been bringing back different information from the Tibetan cultures, and their different notes for chakras are actually different than the western side. So I believe that it really doesn't matter anymore what note goes with what chakra. I think with your intention,
Yes.
whenever you set your intention in there, what feels good for you? And today it might feel like a C.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow it may be a C sharp or a D. And it really, to me, it's more about what do you intend to happen today?
Mm-hmm.
How do you want to work with the sound today? What do you really want to occur today? Because all we have is right now.
Exactly. Exactly,
Yeah.
and that makes perfect sense in alignment with what is going on today, because
Right.
it's all about now.
Right.
It's not about what used to be or what should have been or could have been. It's what are we doing with what's happening.
Right.
So that's certainly in alignment with what our ideas are. Very cool. The other thing I'd like to share with you about that is I got my first Tibetan bowl I got from a gentleman who journeyed to Tibet to get them
Right.
and bring them back to people. And the bowl, I forget how much it was at the time, it was many years ago, but it was quite expensive, but I knew I needed to have it. I says, why is it that? He says, this bowl is over 100 years old.
That's right.
So most of these bowls are quite aged, right?
Some of, yes. Some you can see are varying in ages. Some are very much newer looking. Some you can tell are hand hammered. Some have actual markings on them, which are significant to some people. I'm not sure about all of the significance, but they do have, some actually have symbols inside. So when you do actually play, the vibrational frequency will also pick up the energy of the symbols. So sometimes I put my own symbols in the bowls. Sometimes I put my own crystals and stones in the bowls, and sometimes I put aromatherapy drops in the bowls. Because all of that combined together, when you play, then will vibrate the energies out, just like throwing a rock in the river and watching the ripples. And it just goes to infinity.
Perfect, perfect. Okay, I'm going to step aside and let Annie give us a demonstration of the Tibetan bowls and bells.
All right.
Go right ahead, Annie.
All right. meditation or a concert with an intention. So today, let's just set an intention, and my intention is always multifaceted, but for today's show, let's talk about inner peace and have our intention today to be about inner peace.
Thank you so much, Andy. That was, talk about inner peace. I'm sure you felt that. We did here. I'm watching our executive producer here, Rick, and he's just mellowed out. Very cool, very cool. I noticed also, Andy, that you have some sacred objects set up here on the table that I'm sure our viewers can't see, but we're going to have our cameraman come in a close-up of. Can you explain some of the things you have here, these sacred objects?
Well, normally when I set up a spread of bowls, I also set up some objects that I believe that also carry energy. The Herkimer diamond, which I know that you're very connected to.
Very connected to, yes.
Helps amplify the energy as well. That's why I always
yes.
try to have a Herkimer on the, and this one has a lot of rainbows.
Yeah, look at he's getting a shot of that now. Herkimer diamonds are the ultimate in crystals as far as I'm concerned. I spent 9 years mining them. What a passion.
The white butterfly is a symbol for me. Obviously, butterflies are always a symbol of metamorphosis, but the white butterfly is a symbol of my daughter. I like to keep her energy close. She passed 5 years ago, and I feel that she's one of my spirit guides and angels now. So she earned her wings, and
right.
I believe that she always wants to be present, and I see her everywhere in butterflies and rainbows.
Excellent.
Actually, Nick, you gifted me the duck feathers. That's to help me to release the grief and to get through the loss. And I believe that I'm very much experiencing the light at the end of the tunnel.
Oh,
and because of that, I have the egg, which symbolizes fertility and rebirth. So to me, this is a symbol of my rebirth and my sacred sound coming back. And my being able to speak my truth now. So that's just a few little objects that are on my altar.
Thank you so much, Annie. And I'll tell you, this is so incredible and so exciting. And we're running out of time on this show to show you the other thing. So we're going to have Annie come back and do a couple of more shows because there's so many applications to using crystal bowls and Tibetan bowls and bells. We're going to do a show where she'll give us a little concert on the crystal bowls, which is a totally different vibrational frequency, as you will experience in future shows. And we're going to do a show also based on the therapeutic use of it, whereas I'll be getting on a table and using it to help align me to the vibrations of the bowls too.
Awesome.
So thank you very
You're
much,
welcome.
Annie, for being a guest on our show. We really appreciate it and helping share the vibrational frequencies of sound to help people become more of who they already are. And these are the ways in which we do this. And I'll tell you, there's a day doesn't go by that I don't play my Tibetan bowl, I tell you. And I learned a lot by watching you. I've got some good tips here. So please, you got comments, send us some emails. We've had quite a few emails recently, and we're going to be doing up-and-coming shows based on the questions that people have asked, which presented a whole new different way of me looking at myself, actually. And we're going to do shows on that coming up. So stay tuned. Look for us here on SeeMyBeach.com. Thank you, bless you, and be well.